How about a Coppola quick facts?
Coppola quick facts. There were like 8 million quick facts. I found so much stuff, but I just kind of kept it to the stuff that feels relevant for us. Like I said, we can't spend 5 hours talking about this thing. We definitely could if we wanted to, but we should probably move along because we got important films like The Croods and stuff like that to talk about. The unique animated style of Spider-Verse aims to make the viewer feel as if they are in the pages of a comic book. According to Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, the film combined the latest computer-generated animated technology with hand-drawn artistry. They actually said that they went back in and painted a little bit on every single part of the film. So it's like very CG, computer animated, but it also has that hand-drawn feel to it. I love the pulp feel of the characters have the dots and yeah, it's incrable.
It still kind of gets on my nerves how things are blurred.
Yeah, on the edges, blurry. It's really blurred.
And a lot of times it feels like I'm watching a 3D movie without the glasses on, and it kind of catches me and throws me out. It probably popped really well, but when they have that kind of that blurred thing, it's like you're watching. It's like, oh shit, is this supposed to be in 3D and I'm not wearing the glasses? I thought we were done with those.
I mean, I noticed they kept with that in Across the Spider-Verse, but it seems to depend on what universe they're in, whatever reality they're in. Each one is a little bit different. So Miles is just a little bit strange because this isn't our reality. His reality is not our reality, which you can tell by the posters in the background for movies that don't actually exist. And Common has a 4 on his hat instead of a 3, or not Common, Chance the Rapper. And there's a Shaun of the Dead sequel. I don't know if you saw that in Times Square. It's tell Sean us part or something. I can't remember. From Dusk Till Sean. From Dusk Till Sean. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Which was the actual proposed name for a sequel for Shaun of the Dead that they wanted to do, that the studio wanted to do, but the stars and Edgar Wright were like, nah. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller said it was very important to us that every frame of the movie was refined by the artist's hand after the visuals were rendered by computers. If you freeze any part of the movie at any time, it will look like an illustration with hand-drawn touches and all. Which, I mean, that attention to detail is the reason that it takes so damn long to make this thing, but it also is what makes it so goddamn gorgeous throughout. And I feel like there's an instinct in Hollywood in general to just pump things out after they become popular, but they've kind of refused to do that and are actually taking the time that they wanted to take to finish this trilogy the way that they want it to be finished. So we're not getting Beyond the Spider-Verse until 2027. It was originally slated for 2025, and then the writer's strike happened, and then a bunch of things fell apart as far as schedules and all that, and now I think it's back in production, but it's going to take a while. Completing the animation for the film required up to 180 animators. It's the largest crew ever used by a Sony Pictures animation for a film, or Sony Pictures animation, which, yeah, crazy. I mean, Sony Pictures has done a lot of animated films. But this one, it shows, man. I don't know. It's gorgeous. And the second one is gorgeous, too. A little bit different feel, but very similar in tone. The film was dedicated in memory of Spider-Man co-creator Steve Ditko, who died on July 6th, 2018, while this film was finishing production. However, this was not the only dedication, as a month before the film was released, Stan Lee also died on November 12th, 2018. And the film was dedicated to both of Spider-Man's creators, which I think was a cool little thing that they put in the credits at the end.
Yeah.
And then
Stan Lee was always ripping off Ditko.
Yeah. If you hit pause anytime a train goes by throughout the entire film, because all the animators wanted to do an animation of Stan Lee, he's in almost every single train car. There's one little Stan Lee here and there. It was actually announced shortly after Stan Lee's death at age 95 that he had recorded a cameo for the film. and that it would be his final voice acting role ever. They actually went to his house. And apparently they had never gone to somebody's house to get something like this. But, Stan Lee, he had to get it. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller felt it was important that Lee was then given a bigger moment compared to previous Marvel films because he was so integral to the spirit of the film and considered his role extra meaningful following his death. Nice little final moment, better than Teen Titans for Stan Lee. If Teen Titans would have ended up being the last one, I would have been so sad. But this is the final Stan Lee cameo. I say, his film cameos. I think what was it? The first the Captain Marvel movie, I think, was his final on-screen cameo. Or no, Endgame, right? Or was he in the last Spider-Man one? I can't remember.
I don't think he was. I don't remember what he was in Endgame either.
He was the make love, not war guy in the car.
Oh,
driving
that's
by
right.
when they go back to the 70s.
When they go back in time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think James Gunn had filmed a number of his cameos that they were going to use in multiple projects, but he was the last one that actually was filming live action stuff with them. And I want to say it was when they were doing Guardians 2 or maybe 3. I'm trying to remember. They talked about they had him in or something. They used him to film like 2 or 3 cameos for other movies because, he was old and they couldn't book him to do a bunch of different separate shoots.
Mostly just throw him on a green screen. And
yeah.
And then finally, I have like 2 quick facts about Nic Cage. Nicolas Cage was excited that the directors let him have fun with the role of Spider-Man Noir. Cage says, "It's no secret that I like to play with different sources. It was fun to go back in time and pull back a little of that Humphrey Bogart essence." Of course. He said, I watched the behind the scenes and he was like, I was being reserved in the booth. And then they basically kept telling me to go for it. And they were excited because he was like, "Oh, so you want the full Cage?" And then they just let him do what he wanted. But apparently we're able to rein him in because we've seen what happens when Nick can do whatever he wants. But
I still like to think that was why he wanted to do the Humphrey Bogart impression at the end of Dog Eat Dog. Is he'd been recording his lines as Spider-Man Noir, and he was like, "Hey Paul, I got a great idea."
He had so much fun being Humphrey Bogart.
I don't give a fuck. We've got 24 hours to film your final scene. Okay, I got a great idea.
This is all money laundering anyway, so what's matter? Cage thinks that the movie will appeal both to adults who like old movies and the kids who want to learn more about those old movies, I guess. I don't know. That was a weird quote for him to say, but
is he talking about Spider-Man?
I think he was talking about Spider-Man Noir and the older Spider-Man films.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I didn't know. This is my final quick fact. Nicolas Cage was actually considered to play Green Goblin before they went with Willem Dafoe, which would have been Willem Dafoe is a much better choice for that.
Yeah, that would yeah.
Not that I don't think Cage could have done it, but like Willem Dafoe is perfect for Green Goblin.
Yeah, maybe they'll have him play Norman Osborn in the MCU. Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah. He was apparently at one point it was going to be him as Green Goblin and Wes Bentley as Spider-Man.
Who's that?
That's that douche from Ghost Rider.
Oh, that's right. From American Beauty or whatever.
Beauty, yeah.
Jesus.
The bag kid, bag boy, bag boy Ricky Fitz.
Well, luckily they both were reserved for Ghost Rider instead of
they
Spider-Man.
made much better choices there.